All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Straight from the North Pole. I am Darkside Phil, and it is now time to begin my very first ever live Christmas stream special. Ah! Merry Christmas! Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Festivus, or Happy Holidays, because yes, I celebrate Christmas, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you celebrate Christmas, okay? Today is Christmas Day, and normally on Christmas Day, I wouldn't do anything. Usually Christmas Day is a day that I take off, or I have something prepared for you, like an edited video or something on YouTube. This year, I decided to do something completely differently for multiple reasons. Now, later today, Leanna will be making us dinner. After dinner, we'll be relaxing and just kind of hanging out together. So we're going to have a nice Christmas night together. But I figured, why not? Why not, for those who may be available on Christmas Day, just do a cool live streaming event, okay? Think of today's Christmas and Chill stream kind of more like an interactive version of my old podcast, Hate Live, which I retired over a year ago, okay? What I want to do today is I want to talk all about Christmas. I want to show you what I got for Christmas. I actually have my gifts in the room I'm going to reveal to you. I want to hear what you got for Christmas, okay? So if you're watching this live on stream, I'll be calling out what people were saying, they got for Christmas and stuff like that, interacting with the stream chat. I want to talk Christmas traditions. I want to share with you some of the things that traditionally I would do for Christmas, family traditions, all right, cultural things that in my family we would do growing up. The one thing, sadly, I didn't get ready for today, as you can see, there's no stream chat on the screen. I know there's ways to do this, okay? I'm fully aware that you can do it. You can set it up. I've just been so busy and sick lately. I just haven't had the time to figure it out. The reason I love this time of year is because it's an opportunity to be happy, to be jolly, right? And even though I've been under the weather, and yeah, about a week ago, I realized I've been kind of negative for a few weeks this month because of the underlying illness that I've had. And I apologize for that, because it really does suck when you're in that festive spirit and then something drags you down. You know what I mean? This is the time of year when it's the perfect opportunity to just kind of focus on all the positivity around you. You know, the end of the year means that a lot of people are either getting a break from school or work. Maybe you get end of the year bonus. You're going to get Christmas presents. You're going to be able to share time with friends and family, which is pretty awesome. You got a new year where you can kind of renew things and start fresh and start new initiatives and everything. So it is a good opportunity for a lot of positive things to be going on. Outside of America, I guess I should say outside of the United States, I'm not sure if there's like movies that also are huge Christmas movies, but it almost seems to me like a lot of the movies about Christmas seem to be based in America, don't they? And I don't know if that's just a case because Hollywood, you know what I mean? Hollywood, America. Or if there's actually a lot of international Christmas movies that maybe I've never even heard of. I don't know. I have no idea. And we're looking at some of them, some of the classics from like early Americana. So we're talking Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, Fred Astaire, the classic American performers. So we just picked one at random. We picked Holiday Inn, okay? Now this is supposed to be a movie where Bing Crosby opens a kind of a hotel bed and breakfast resort. It's supposed to be like a location spot. Think of like a lodge up in the mountains where, people would go for like skiing, but also for just relaxation, kind of like a destination vacation. Okay, one of the big songs from the movie is White Christmas. And White Christmas, that song actually premiered in this movie, Holiday Inn, which I never knew. Everyone said, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. That's Bing Crosby singing it from this movie, which I never realized that that's what it came out of, okay? They go to, this is so funny. They go to Lincoln's birthday. Now I'm like, what? Now the thing is, a lot of people don't realize this. The president's birthdays used to actually be big holidays in the United States, right? But we don't realize this today because today we barely even celebrate them anymore. They're barely even like, they're supposed to be national holidays, but in a lot of ways, it's just a normal day for a lot of people. So they're celebrating Lincoln's birthday. What do? I was so flabbergasted. They dress up in blackface, pretend to be African-American freed slaves, singing, "Oh, Abraham, he freed the slaves. Oh, Abraham, Abraham." And it's the most racist freaking thing. But the thing is, back then, that wasn't considered racist. Back then, the big performers were mostly white. And so, of course, it was unfair. Of course, there were African-American people who were just as talented as the white people, but they didn't get those opportunities. It was pretty damn funny. Check my Instagram, instagram.com/they call me DSP. We took pictures of it. We were like, we couldn't believe it. I was like shocked. I was like, But that's today. That's modern times. You know, back then, like I said, that was commonplace. That was considered like normal. We also do, you know, holiday-themed food and stuff. Like, for example, we just today, this morning, we ate panettone, which is my Italian holiday tradition. It is a pastry bread. It's bread, Italian-style bread. It's an Italian recipe, because I am Italian. Today, we're going to have ham, because for Christmas, at least in the United States, there's two big traditions. Either you have turkey, or you have ham. I like turkey, but I'm not one of these turkey aficionados. Like, a Christmas tradition that we've been doing over the past several years is Chinese food on Christmas Eve, all right? Now, I'll talk about that a little bit, because I'm going to talk about family traditions and stuff later on in this stream. What did I get from my parents? Some money, because they know right now that's the best thing that could help me right now. Give me some money, help me pay my bills, help me keep doing this as a job, you know what I mean? They know how it is. So for them, they're like, they could either buy me a bunch of crap that I'm probably not going to use, or they could give me money. So they gave me some money. Awesome. Best gift that I could get, you know, at this point, right? Now, Leanna, my girlfriend, got me a few things, a few cool items here that I'd like to reveal. All right. So one of the things that she gets me every year is a calendar, because I am very bad with dates. If I don't have a calendar in front of me, I will forget what day it is every single day. So for this year, she got me the Dumbest Things Ever Said or Done 2017 calendar. And what this is a bunch of, you know, people just doing really dumb shit. I'll flip through. Pick my birthday. I'm going to do a random day. All right, here we go. June 22nd. Woo! Let's read this one off. The business of stupidity. The next time that you have a slow day at work, consider these views on the subject. If the president of a company has a clean desk, ITT Chairman Harold Greening observed, it must be the executive vice president who's doing all the work. Work is of two kinds, as philosopher Bertrand Russell said. First, altering the position of matter at or near the Earth's surface relative to other such matter. Second, telling other people to do so. That didn't have anything to do with being stupid. What kind of calendar is this?
You picked like the worst one.
No, they're pretty much all like this. I'm not even kidding.
Aww.
I thought it was gonna be like funny little quotes.
Aw, this is lame.
It's like these really esoteric fucking mind-thinking things. There was nothing funny about that.
Think. My favorite one.
So this is a good one. There's a movie that Leanna always talks about that I've never seen. Oops. It is The Beatles' Yellow Submarine. It's a movie from the 1970s, very trippy, from what I've heard.
This was my favorite movie as a kid. My dad bought it on VHS like 1,000,000 years ago. And I watched this like 500 million times a year for like the first probably 8 to 12 years of my childhood. And it gets trippier as you get older and you start to realize that this is really the result of their drug trip.
I've seen scenes of it, but I've never actually seen the movie.
Oh, you have no idea what you're in for.
So this will be good. I love the Beatles music. I'm a very big fan, because the reason I'm a big fan is because my parents exposed me to the Beatles when I was very young. My mom actually owned the Beatles records.
It was great.
So my last present was pajamas.
Woo!
Woo! Pajamas.
Take your clothes off now and put them on live.
Well, it's nice. I actually need another pair of pants. Another pajama pants, so pajamas. There you go. So that's what I got for Christmas. Leanna got various things. You can only bring 2 of them, though. You can't bring the third one.
Well, I could.
The one big thing that I got for her was a big pressure cooker pot, which she wanted one. But I found one on Amazon for, like, big discount, so I ended up getting her, like, a much larger one than she originally had wanted. And we're going to be looking to, like, do, like, different recipes and stuff with that thing. The thing is crazy. It makes soup. It makes braised beef. You can make pulled pork. You can make delicious chicken, short ribs that come off the bone. But also, you know, it doesn't have to be meat. You could also do desserts. It can do all kinds of stuff. And one thing we actually talked about, this is pretty funny. As you guys and gals know, I make my own sauce, my own family recipe of Italian sauce. Well, I've made it myself before, but yes, we make it together now that we live together. And one of the things that this pressure cooker does, it actually pressurizes cans and makes it so they're airtight, and it basically preserves the food. So we were talking about maybe, just for the hell of it, next time that we make a fresh batch of sauce, pressurize a couple sauce cans, right? And put them into storage and see how long they last, because we don't know what that... Right now what we do is we freeze it, and then we thaw it out when we want to use it. But what ends up happening is it ends up being very watery because you got all the condensation from the freezer that adds to it. Maybe if we just canned it and it made it airtight, right, we could actually have it like that. So that was cool. Big pressure cooker, and we're definitely looking forward to trying it. And hey, if we get some good recipes that we try and it looks good, that's something that I'll probably share with everyone on Instagram.
I got blue balls.
She got a blue ball.
It's a stress ball.
It's a nice stress ball.
One. I asked for this specifically because people be testing my patience. All the people, look at this. Feel my ball. Feel it. It's nice. It's not one of the ones that are squishy that like that eyeball pops out though. So that is slightly unsatisfying because I don't get the visual of murder.
It's firm though.
It is. And best gift ever from Japan. Woo!
What's the name? It's called Rilakuma.
You probably butchered the shit out of that, but yeah, sure.
Rilakuma. Yeah, or however you pronounce it. But, you know, it's a very popular brand of Japanese bear stuffed animals. And we go to this arcade. It's close by. It's called Round 1 Arcade. And they have these prizes. But it's only in the claw machines. Like, they never have it for ticket redemption.
Ones. They're like this big ones. Like the normal size teddy bear size ones.
Yeah.
The more handheld.
We've been trying to get her a nice one for like a year and a half since this arcade has existed.
Every time.
But we can never win the claw machine. The claw machine is very flimsy.
But
we never win it.
We do it.
And by the way, very expensive. You're going to get something like this, you have to import. I had to import it from Japan, and it ended up costing a lot of money, so there you go.
It was worth it, because now we can go to the arcade and I can say, fuck you, claw machine. Because fuck those claw machines, man. They're a bitch and a half. All we can get is those damn keychains. It's horse shit, because they have like 500 varieties, and I want all of them. But goddamn it, every time we try, we like nudge an ear. And then one time we got one more stuck than it was before. And I don't know how these damn people always get these...
What did people get for Christmas this year? I'm curious to hear what some people got.
Roll gift.
Dishonored 2, Watch Dogs 2, WWE 17, and a Deadpool mask. That's a pretty good haul. Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma socks, stereo speakers, Asian Dragon stress balls, and a new long sleeve shirt.
Oh, stress balls. That was the theme this year.
That's not bad. WWE 2K17, an Afterglow headset, a full year of PS Plus, and an Elgato HD 60 capture card. I haven't done the 60 frames per second with Elgato. I had the old Elgato. That's the one that you use for capturing consoles. That one only does 30 frames per second. Hopefully it works for you. Wolverine toy. 2 Warcraft statues, PSN for a $50 credit, 2 Blu-ray movies, 2 $25 Domino's gift cards, a PS Plus year-long card, and a World of Warcraft Collector's Cup set. That's a pretty good haul. You got some good stuff in there. At least, you know, not having to pay for PS Plus for a year is a really good thing. Especially like World of Warcraft. Obviously, you liked what you got there. Money to take a motorcycle license test and to get a motorcycle license. There you go. It could be pretty pricey, you know, firsthand to take this stuff, the tests and everything.
No,
so.
Dude, those fucking classes, like, there was one class that's really fun. The one about drunk driving where everyone got the drunk goggles. Oh my god, that was my favorite class because some numbnuts was wearing it. And we were doing a test where people were throwing a ball and to see if you could either catch it or kick it. He goes to kick it. He kicks the freaking chair, and it's one of those old school metal, like, classroom chairs. He falls over, and he's, like, dead on the ground for 2 minutes. It was my favorite thing.
Why are you tell them that? You're looking at me like I haven't heard this story. Tell the camera.
It was a good...
I see a lot of people are mentioning Star Wars stuff. I guess Star Wars is big again, you know, because of the movie, and now we got Rogue One. I see that someone said they got a Kylo Ren action figure. A few other people saying they got different kinds of Star Wars-related stuff. That's cool. Star Trek 4 on Blu-ray. The one with the whales. That's the one where they go a time warp to modern 1980s New York, I think, or something. Yeah, it's really weird. I remember that one.
It's described the one with the whales.
Yeah, because it's about whales. They go back in time and then they have to interact with the whales and stuff. It's a really weird movie. Okay. I mean, when you get to the 4th movie in a series, you got to start grasping at straws.
Man, I thought the Beatles' Yellow Submarine was gonna be trippy. Man, that is so normal sounding compared to that. The one with the whales, you know.
I got myself a $50 Google Play card. Good on you, sir. Because, quite honestly, as you get older, you're going to start to see you're not going to get great gifts from a lot of people. So you got to start getting stuff for yourself. So good on you.
I bought myself a game.
Well, my Christmas present to myself this year was a new UPS, Universal Power Supply, for my PC. Because this week when I tried to play Friday the 13th beta, my Universal Power Supply was screeching and turning my computer off. So it's obvious there's something going on with it. So $100 spent on myself, but it's really just an upgrade for the business. Woohoo. Yeah, you just got a game on Steam.
I bought Civilization 4 because it's like $5. I was looking through my wish list, and there were things there that were like $3. I think Oregon Trail's like $3 now. I almost bought that, but I'm going to wait for a more appropriate time of the year for that one.
Pokemon Sun. That's good. Pokemon Sun. You know, I'm playing Moon. Pretty solid game. In fact, I'll say this, Pokemon Moon, if anything, is a lot more challenging than a lot of the other Pokemon games. A lot more, it seems to be more of a game versus just, you know what I mean? You go to play Pokemon, and a lot of the times you're just spending time going through the mode. I captured the Pokemon, I kill everything, you know. This one actually seems challenging to me, so.
Oh, wait, I forgot to mention I got stuff for the business for Christmas. Well, I bought it for myself for the business. I got new colors, and I got some more soap boxes for the old style soaps, and yeah, oh, and I got a little sample. I got a little fragrance sample with my order called Electric Lemonade Cocktail. It smells like a lemon lime candy, like a Jolly Rancher. It's awesome.
Someone did confirm the Scuff controller is a customizable controller, just like the Xbox One Elite, where you could swap parts out and stuff. So I was right in that assumption. Someone got Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam tickets. Damn. Listen, I went to WrestleMania. Now, I know there's various levels, okay? You can get El Cheapo WrestleMania tickets for like $50 to $100, but they're up in the nosebleeds. If you want good WrestleMania tickets, you're going to be spending upwards of $500 or more. To get tickets to all 3 events, that's a pretty damn good Christmas present, damn. Now, the question is, can you afford airfare to all 3 events? Because I'm sure they're not in the same city.
Every band I like is broken up or the lead singer died. No concerts for me. All the things I like are dead. Except you.
A man crate of real ramen and spices like chili pepper.
Ooh.
Because it used to be like a different ramen every month, and they're telling us we can't even import this stuff to the United States anymore.
I mean, I
that is stupid.
I understood that, though, because when I was looking for my business to find out what countries I couldn't ship to, for a multitude of stupid reasons. But yeah, some of them, certain spices and, like, herbs and stuff, they do not allow. So I think it's probably because of the stuff that's in it. Not like the noodles themselves. Who gives a crap about that? But yeah, it's probably the...
Why are we even regulating that? Right? If we're importing or exporting proprietary technologies, right? That, let's say we're exporting stuff to a country and the country isn't well regulated and then it ends up in the hands of a terrorist. Okay, that needs to be regulated. Oh my god, a cup of Japanese ramen. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're fucking busy with. The Spider-Man trilogy on Blu-ray, cologne, Steam cards, liquor, and a new razor, and some clothes. I mean, that's good. Good personal hygiene stuff. Spider-Man trilogy is kind of at the first movie I liked, the second movie I liked, the third movie I hated. I want to hear some of your traditions and see what kind of stuff that you people, you know, how you celebrate with your own family, maybe your own cultural stuff that is very maybe not in line with what we do here. It's funny because just this morning, someone posted up on Twitter about, like, the Christmas cracker. I was like, what the hell is that? Is it, like, food? And, like, no, it's this thing that you tear apart and it pops and you get a present. I was like, what the hell is that? I never heard of that. So that's what I mean. That's the kind of stuff that maybe we could share today on stream, all right? We used to put up our Christmas tree early December-ish, okay? Now, for those who don't know, in the United States, the actual tradition, meaning the actual Christmas tradition of putting up a Christmas tree, is typically done only 1 or 2 days, if not the night before Christmas. This was before also trees came with the lights on them. They didn't back then. You know, back in the 1980s, you couldn't get a tree that had the lights already installed on it or anything like that, okay? So we had to get different sets of lights. We had the multicolored lights, and we did those for a long time. I actually remember it was probably till I was about maybe 7, 8 years old. Just a candy cane that, like, has felt, it's fuzzy felt candy cane. Just bizarre. So that was one of the things we did. And my mom always had a nativity that she put under the tree. Keep in mind, I was raised Roman Catholic, okay? I was raised Roman Catholic, so a lot of religious kind of stuff was always around the house, and or, you know, we had crosses hanging in our bedrooms, crucifixes, and we had a nativity under the tree. But also, for at least a few years, we had a Christmas train, because my uncle, his name was Uncle Richie's, my mom's older brother, he was into trains. He was a train collector. But this thing, seriously, this thing was not reliable at all. I don't think the thing could go around the track for more than like 4 times without completely derailing and going right into the wall. And it was every time we tried to do it, turn it on, wow, here comes the train. Oh, there it goes. Right to your foot, right into the kitchen. Oh my God, I remember a few times flew into the kitchen. My mom is in the kitchen baking or something. She's like, what the fuck? The train's flying through the floor. Like, what the hell is this? First of all, my family was very food oriented. All right, my mom is basically half Polish and half Italian. All right, hold on a second, because I'm trying to pay attention here to my own story, and I see a bunch of idiots misbehaving in the stream chat, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Italian cookies are very different from regular cookies. They're made differently. They have a different consistency to them, and they have different kinds of filling. Some of them have fruit filling. Some of them just have like cherries on top and stuff like that. Because I've had enough. There's about 10 people in the chat who came here just to be dicks, and they're ruining it for everyone. They're trying to enjoy the story, and then you got dicks coming in. Some of them would have like apricot filling. Apricot is huge with Italians. Italians love apricot, prune, cherry. I'm trying to think of all the various fillings that you would have. Raspberry was one. Oh, it's funny because you'll go to a supermarket and they'll say Italian cookies. And then you go, and they're nothing like what I used to have when I was a kid. They're all like kind of different, changed versions, probably to be more homogenized or more Americanized. Putting nutcrackers on the tree. I've never done anything like that before. We grew up during communism when religion was forbidden, so no traditions. Wow. What is a Christmas cracker? I need to know what this is. Apparently this might be a British or a European thing. Someone showed me a picture. I guess it looks like it's silver or something, or metallic, and it's wrapped, and it looks like you pull it from both ends, but I don't understand how that works. What is a Christmas cracker? It's 2 strips of chemically impregnated paper that reacts with friction, so when you pull it apart, it makes a banging sound. I have never heard or seen this ever in my life. Never. This is something completely foreign to me. KFC apparently is huge in Japan. I guess it's a new tradition that they've started, at least in the past like several decades, where they all go out around Christmas time and or on Christmas Eve or Christmas to get KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know why. Maybe because it's an American thing. I don't know. I don't know about, all I know is it exists and you would spin it, and I don't know how to actually play the dreidel. I don't know. I guess there's symbols on the sides that represent something. That is something completely foreign to me. I've never even seen a real dreidel in real life. Every Christmas, I watch the movie Edward Scissorhands by Tim Burton. Yes, I do know that movie, but it's not... Is it a Christmas movie? I know there's snow. I think Christmas happens during the movie, but it's not necessarily considered a Christmas movie. Baking a cake with a fava bean inside. Whoever gets the slice with the bean has to pay for the cake. What? Well, then I'm not eating any. I'll pass. Don't want to pay for anything. What's a fava bean? It's a kind of bean. Do we smoke any weed? No, we did not smoke any weed to celebrate Christmas. We both hate cigarettes, and we both hate just smoke in general. My mom grew up, she's a chain smoker. She's not anymore. She's not as bad as she used to be. But there were times when she would be smoking 1 to 2 packs a day. And the house would always smell terribly like cigarettes. My clothes would smell like cigarettes. And honestly, I have weak lungs. a weak throat. I mean, duh, I get sick and it takes fucking a month for my throat to get better, right? My mom smoked when I was in her as a baby. My godfather had a brother named Michael who was kind of the oddball of the family. He was about the same age as my godfather, but he never got married. And he basically lived in this house with my great uncle and great aunt his whole life. Like, I'm not exaggerating. He never moved out. He had other places where he would go and stay, but he never technically moved out. So imagine that you're like 30, 40, 50 years old and you still live with your parents. He still did. I don't know what the deal was with that. And quite honestly, I never asked because it was none of my business. Okay? So we would have dinner, but we'd also have the dinner Eucharist. So it's kind of like having communion at dinner. It was kind of weird, honestly, because it's not like we had a priest there or anything, but we would still do it. I asked my parents, I was like, Mommy, Daddy, why would Santa be at Grandma's house, but then bring us toys overnight to our house? If he was already there, why wouldn't he just give us all of our presents at once? To which, of course, they'd be like, duh, because obviously, at that point, I believe that Santa existed. So I believe, if I remember correctly, my parents actually just told me right up front, the first time that I ever asked them, they were like, no, that's not Santa. That is your grandfather or grandpa dressing up like Santa, but he does it for your cousins. This is for the benefit of your 3 second cousins. He pretends to be Santa for them. But the real Santa comes to our house overnight, and that's how you get your gifts from Santa. There was a joke. The joke was that we're going to give the kids coal in the stockings. Just to make them, just to fool with them. The parents think it's hilarious. We'll give the kids coal. It's funny. Ha, 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 ha. But to a kid, to get coal in your stocking, especially if you believe in Santa, to get coal in your stocking means that you were bad, right? You were a bad kid. So for me, I remember the one year I got coal in my stocking, and everyone got coal, okay? Everyone got coal in their stocking. But I got a big piece. They gave me the big chunk of coal, and all the girls got like little pieces. Oh, it's a joke. I got a giant lump of coal, and I remember pulling it out, and to me, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I felt bad. I was like, man, I must have done something really bad or like really misbehaved this year. Because I got this coal. I actually remember, I guess what my parents told me is that I started crying because I was so upset that I felt that I had hurt my parents or done something really bad that year to deserve this giant lump of coal in my stocking. And then my parents were like, no, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. So I ended up actually keeping the coal and putting it on top of one of my dressers as like a decoration for my room for like the next 5 years. I kept the coal and put it in there. So it was kind of funny because you think, coal in the kid's stocking, that's a joke. It's a tongue-in-cheek joke. But for me, as being a kid, I actually felt really bad. I actually felt really, really bad. The thing was, when I was growing up as a teenager, I had my own shit going on, right? I had my own friends at school. I had my own relationships with girls. I had all this stuff going on. I didn't care about family drama. I was at that age when you stop really caring about the family drama and all. You don't want to get involved in it, right? So something happened, and there was a falling out between my parents, my godparents, and my great aunt and great uncle. From what I'm to understand, this is really weird, okay? Like, we would still go see my great aunt and great uncle, and my godparents would still see my great aunt and great uncle. But for whatever reason, we stopped going to my grandparents' house on Christmas Eve, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like, there was a falling out, they were angry at each other or whatever, and it was because of that we didn't want to have the Christmas Eve there anymore. It was very confusing. I don't even understand what the hell happened. All right. My dad said, what the hell, if we're not going to be able to have our own, family Christmas where we all go together Christmas Eve and we celebrate, why don't we just go out Christmas Eve to an Asian restaurant? So we started doing this, and I remember the original restaurant that we started going to was a more upscale Chinese restaurant, and we started getting duck, and every year it was plum duck. It was duck breast and nice thinly sliced duck, and it was a plum sauce, and you dip the duck in the plum sauce, and oh my God, if you've never had duck like that, you gotta try it. An Asian preparation of duck is mouth-wateringly delicious because duck is a very fatty fowl, and it is just, oh, it just melts in your mouth. It is so tender and juicy and delicious. You're gonna love duck if you've never tried it. I definitely recommend you try duck. In 2010, I lost my job. I lost my office job. And we were at this Asian restaurant on Christmas Eve, and it was very uncertain what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to make money doing YouTube or whatever. And my fortune that night in the fortune cookie at the Chinese restaurant was, you know, something like, you will have good fortune with your finances, or it was like, you don't have to worry about your finances moving forward. You're going to have good luck or something like that. You know, and this was a time when I just lost my office job. There was no other jobs to get in the area. So for me to be trying to do YouTube full-time was incredibly risky. I was seen as the underdog. This guy, I didn't have a lot of notoriety. I didn't have a lot of money or production value. I was a one-man show, a guy just playing games and reviewing games and having fun with games. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it as a job and be able to pay my bills. At that point, I was very nervous about losing my house that I had just bought the year before, and basically going into massive debt, maybe bankruptcy, because I wasn't going to be able to find a job or whatever. So this fortune cookie actually gave me confidence in trying to do YouTube as a job. And lo and behold, the next year I partnered with Machinima. I started making good money. And the rest is history. Here I am, you know, still doing YouTube and still doing Twitch and doing all this stuff for a living, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, okay? What are your traditions for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day? Do you visit certain family on one day? Do you just do everything? How do you exchange gifts? Do you give all the gifts on Christmas Day, or do you have like an exchange of one gift early and then later? I'm curious to what people have to say in the stream chat. Our mother gets us up at 7 a.m. to open presents on Christmas Day. When I was a kid, I would wake up at like 6 a.m. and my parents would be like, no, we're not opening gifts till 8, at least at the earliest. Now, you know, of course, now I fuck that. Sleep as long as I can, right? I ate 3 pounds of crab legs on Christmas Eve and homemade Chex Mix, cinnamon rolls, cake, and rolls. Christmas Eve is presents and Christmas stocking. Christmas is we open our stockings. 3 pounds of crab legs. Holy shit. That would be awesome. I would love to have 3 pounds of crab legs. At least in America, we're like, oh, Christmas is always the 25th. But I know that for weeks there were people actually saying that Christmas is the 24th. I'm like, no, it's not. That's Christmas Eve. But I guess some people, to them, it actually is like Christmas because they celebrate it on that day. I definitely appreciate you coming out for Christmas. And that is it for my Christmas and Chill stream. I hope that you enjoyed it.